So we've been building the T3s and the ACL3s now for a little while. How are you thinking the mechanics are coming along? How does it feel here? I think we've made some improvements.
Well, yeah, we just did a test out there on X and Y axis, repeatability, using dial indicator and rapid speeds, and we were coming back to either 0 or 0.001 repeatedly on both axes. So it's hard to get.
So 3 decimal places.
3 decimal places. It's pretty hard to do better.
Yeah,
than
you
that.
could sneeze on it to get it to change more than that.
Right.
What about the drives? We changed from Yaskawa drives to Delta drives. What are we feeling about the Delta drives and the new, what do you call that gearbox?
Planetary gearbox.
Planetary gearbox.
So, yeah, so the term I like to use is that all of these things play nice together. And what I mean by that is we have a Delta control, we have Delta servo amplifiers, we have Delta drives,
Yeah.
and planetary gearboxes. So all of those things put together, they all play nice together. There's no conflict between any of the components.
As we were shooting some of this video earlier, I was noticing that the machines really seem like they move really crisp and really smooth. Have you seen a difference?
Yeah, we have the acceleration and deceleration actually are very quick right now. And we had a customer yesterday that commented that he'd like the acceleration and deceleration to be a little bit slower. And I asked him, well, why would you want to do that? Nobody wants their machine to go slower. His comment was that he wanted square corners, and of course my comment was, you will have square corners. This is the way the machine works.
The thing that I see training class after training class is that as the guys, Lee and his group, are talking with customers and training customers, that the little sort of tips and tricks, expertise if you will, that gets passed along, and that many of our guys, if not all of our guys, are first-time CNC companies, and you know, they really take a leap of faith when they decide to buy a new CNC, and that interface with, you know, I'm going to call them the smart young guys out in the shop and the customers that buy the machines. It seems like you can really tell that, you know, they're not just going through the motions, that they really, you know, you can tell that it's working, that the training classes, you know, they become friends after a while.
Yeah, I mean, I say to all the customers the same thing. The way our relationship with the customer, and not to sound cliche, but you know, obviously our relationship with the customer becomes a personal relationship. Whichever the guys in the shop does the training is their point of contact from here and forever forward. It wouldn't be you or I. You know, we're involved in running the business and doing sales, but they've been together, they've broke bread together, they know each other, and that relationship goes a long way.
I think it was beer, not bread, but okay.
Yeah, beer too, a lot of beer together. You know, and I think, you know, between you and I, we have some 65 years or so of CNC experience, and
Since I had brown hair,
and mine has been manufacturing experience. You know, we've had plants and manufacturing experience. And so, given that amount of time, you learn a lot, and that's what we try and show our customers. You know, how do you make a fixture? How do you do this? How do you do that? What are the router tricks in the business? We've learned to do those.
Yeah, what cutters are we going to use?
Right.
What speeds and feeds? And how do we teach the software to remember that so I don't have to keep doing it over and over again? It seems like we're at a really sweet spot in the growth of the business right now. We're big enough to be able to be helpful, but small enough so that we really pay careful attention, personal attention to each new company that buys a machine. What do you think is the biggest change that you see, like pre-machine in a company to post-machine in a company?
Explain.
A customer. So they come in and they're making stuff on sliding table saws and gang drill machines, and then they take the step to a CNC machine, and then we talk to them 6 months later.
Right. Well, the number one comment we get is that they got their time back. But I mean, anybody's first order of business is to be profitable. And your and my business is to be profitable, and our customer's business, first thing is to be profitable. Second thing they have to know is, how do they accomplish being profitable? Well, we talk about the Talent 3 that we've done the video on, and showing how one man can actually take the place of 3 And with clean sweep technology to push our parts off and vacuum our spoil board off, essentially after the first sheet runs, all that time just goes away. You just keep getting it back. So I think, you know, the old cliche, time is money, true.
I think we tried to show in the video that while the machine is running, there's enough time to actually assemble the cabinet. It just came off, so.
Correct.
I think it was 6 or 7 minutes, for an assembled cabinet. From raw sheet to assembled cabinet at a pace of 6 or 7 minutes a cabinet.
Right.
You can make money doing that. I mean, you can certainly make money.
We both had the experience where the owner of the company comes in with one of his shop employees who is a longtime woodworker, very talented, used to, let's go to the beginning, a table saw, not even a sliding saw, and some equipment. And the owner wants to invest in technology, and the employee is concerned about his job and might make the comment, well, I can do that just as fast with a table saw. And my comment is always the same: on the mark, get set, go, and you push the start button, and
I'm going to go get a coffee.
walk
and
away,
and start working.
yeah. So I think, what people have to realize, the employees of the company have to realize, is that this is an opportunity for them to learn something new and different and valuable, more valuable. An operator is a valuable person to have in your company. So.
We recently did an inventory of spare parts. How many different spare parts do we have in stock?
I know you were going to ask me that, and I told you the number, but it's around 38,000 individual parts.
Yeah, wow.
And that encompasses, CNC routers, boring machines, CNC boring machines, edge banders, panel saws, sliding saws, beam saws, rear load saws. There's all that equipment. So, around 38,000 individual pieces.
Wow. So if they need a part, the bottom line is they can count on us to have it here when they need it.
Right.
So one of the things I've noticed is when I go to visit somebody, 4 months or 6 months after they have a new CNC, like how their process has changed. They go from cutting stuff on a table saw where, on a good day, a good guy can hit a 64th of an inch, and now they're measuring stuff in thousandths of an inch, and they find 3 or 4 or 5 thousandths of an inch, and they're really unhappy that they find a teeny tolerance like that. Like they've really raised their standards. And I love the idea that, and I sort of jokingly say, hey, you'll never have to call a customer and apologize for better than expected quality because your new CNC is, has changed the way you operate your business.
Right, right. I mean, we've had a number of people that come here. They, most of them have a tape measure attached to their belt. And what I have to say to them is like, what are you going to do with that? Right? That's become let's call it an analog tool as opposed to a digital tool where we are today. Many of our new customers don't have calipers, as you know, and the first thing we tell them is that they should get one. But also they have to remember what their complaint is. It's the thickness of a human hair. So for perspective, things have changed a great deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Our cabinet builders are particularly fussy about dimensions because they have to fit in a given space on a wall. So, we have to be very careful with our depths of cut for our dado so cabinets don't grow, things like that. And all that just goes away.
And the thing that I hear over and over again, when I visit a customer after he's had a new CNC, for years and years and years, and, they always look at me and say, if I was going to do it again, you know what I'd do different? And I say, what? And he says, I'd have bought it sooner.
Yeah, I agree with that. It'll change your business.